Today we're going to have a bit of a review on the tent I've been using for the last couple of years. It's the Naturehike Mongar 2. Well, it took me a while to settle on the right tent. I looked around online, I looked at lots of reviews on various YouTube channels and so on. It was not just about finding something that was affordable, but something that had the right size for me to live in, and also the right size to fold and small enough to fit in my panniers. You see, when I was on the road, didn't know where I was going to sleep. Sometimes I was planning to stay in hotels or so on, but for a budgetary reason, I had to figure out a way to stay on the beach sometimes or try to sleep as cheaply as possible. So that's why the tent. And my panniers weren't that big, so I needed something that could fit quite easily in those panniers. Also, after a day on the road, I guess you don't really want to lock yourself up in such a small space. I needed something spacious enough. And I was thinking ahead of time as well that perhaps at some point me and my wife would travel together, so that would come in handy if we had something big enough for both of us. While traveling alone, I needed something big enough for me and my gear, and I needed something that would be a perfect balance between packing size, weight, and living in storage space. So that's why I settled on the Naturehike Mongar 2. So the specs of that tent, actually the weight, it's quite light at 2.2 kilogram for everything. And it's a two-person tent, so for me on my trip it was luxury, because a two-person tent is like a luxury tent for one person. So that was great. As far as cost online, we bought it on Shopee after again reading many recommendations about the Naturehike products, and I think it came to 1.6 million, which is roughly about $100 or so. So for a freestanding tent that it's lightweight and spacious enough, I think that was a good price. For that price, you get the full package. You get the ground sheet, which is often not included when you buy a tent. You also get the fly sheet, and you get the aluminum bungee cord poles, which are quite robust, and you get a set of aluminum Y-stake ground pegs. They're great because they're very, very solid, they're harder to bend, and they're bright red, so they're very hard to lose as well. And then finally, you also have the actual tent, or the mesh bit, which is for two people, and it has two doors. So it's actually quite easy to put together. I've got a system, you know, when you get started, you develop a system. So I would find the place where I want to pitch it, and the first thing that goes down is the ground sheet, obviously, and then I would secure the corners with the ground pegs. Once that's in, I would basically open up the aluminum pole and put the corners in, and then it would basically lay out perfectly. Under there, I would then fit the actual tent. I would secure the corners, and then the tent itself just attached with these little hooks on the skeleton structure. And once that's there, you just put the fly sheet over, secure it, and voila, it's all set. And that's perfect if you're rushing, like as you might have seen on my video, I was always fighting to get somewhere before nightfall so I could have a bit of daylight to pitch my tent. So it was great for that. And also if you get caught in the rain and you need to pitch your tent, at least you can do it rather quickly. So it's a good tent for that. On the inside, it's very nice. Okay, it's a small design. It's a two-person tent. But it was perfect. It was just enough space. I could fit all my gear on the inside and my mattress and lay down next to my gear. So it was perfect. So I was even able to teach from my tent and do some work on my computer, some editing work. So it's very spacious. First off, it's got two doors, one on either side. So it's always easy to get in one side, get out the other side. You never feel trapped. You can open both sides, let the breeze come through. When I'm traveling with my wife, it's also great. We can each have our own side to come in. So it's a lot easier than coming in through one way and step over one another. Then the fly sheet's got some vents that you can open up to let the air breeze through, which is amazing, which is excellent in the tropics. And finally, that mosquito mesh on the inner tent, it's really good. I never had issue with bugs or mosquitoes. And what's nice is on the inside, where the ceiling is, you got that ceiling mesh compartment that's dangling from above. And in there, I would put my handphone and things that I need quickly, that I want to know exactly where they are. I would also, at night, I have this small fan that I put in my power bank, and I would just hang that up there, and it gave me a ceiling fan. So it was fantastic. Yeah, that's another issue. When you travel by motorbike, your gear gets wet, it gets muddy. And that's a thing that was great also, is because the fly sheet, the way it's set up, you get 2 vestibules, for one for each door. So I would normally use the rear vestibule to put all my wet gear or my muddy boots or anything I didn't want to be in the tent. But I wanted to protect from the rain or the elements. There's this vestibule there, and there's one on either side. So very, very handy. Well, I have to say, of all the tents I've owned, and I have owned quite a few over the years, this is the best one. First of all, it's really easy to set up and to take down. So that's the main thing. I've never had a tent that could go up and go down that easily. Next, the fact that it's got the 2 doors makes it really handy. I would put my stuff through the back door, but I would still go in through the front, you know? So it's quite nice. And traveling with 2 people, it makes it that much easier to enter the tent. Another thing that's great is that it could also be set up without the inner tent. So just the fly sheet on the skeleton frame, and that would provide shade against the sun, or even protect me from the rain if I don't want to pitch the tent, but I need instant protection. So there's a bit of versatility there, and I love that. With all the time I've traveled in Indonesia with it, not a single leak, no holes in it, no problems at all. I have to say, for the price, it's probably a very, very good choice for anyone who wants to travel on a motorbike and be able to stay in a tent once in a while. I hope you've enjoyed this breakdown of my tent. If you are interested in the Naturehike Mongar 2, which is a 2-person tent, I'm going to post a link. And if you buy it using that link, at no extra cost to you, I might get a little something out of it as an affiliate. So thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you did, don't forget to click like and write me a comment. What tent do you use? Have you used this tent? How does it feel? What do you have to say about it? And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I do hope that we get to meet somewhere out there on the road. And until we do, like they say around here, sampai jumpa lagi.